Flagship's popular craft beer dinner cruise hops on the harbor, features a different San Diego brewery each month, paired with gourmet food, music, and fun people.
Good morning, San Diego. Quick correction on the time. It is actually 9:32. I don't know why I saw 22. I was 10 minutes behind. It is 9:32 on a Saturday morning. Listen up. We have a father and daughter writing team with an important message for you. I want to introduce you to Marc and Lianna Treitler. They are the authors of a book called Dad is an Alcoholic, What About Me? It is their story of struggling with a family addiction, and they are offering advice to other families who might be facing substance abuse problems. Welcome to both of you. It's nice to meet you.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
And have you here. This is the book right here. Really neat book. My Dad is an Alcoholic. What About Me? And you both wrote it together. You were saying, Lianna, you are 15 years old, and you practically wrote half of this book.
Yeah, we wrote it together.
Each chapter has a little bit about the topic, a little bit from Dad, and a little bit from Lianna.
Well, thank you for being here and sharing what has been going on with you guys and your family. Let me start with you, Marc.
Sure.
You have been struggling with alcoholism?
I'm the dad that's an alcoholic,
the dad.
and she's the what about me? Yeah, it's like many people that grew up. I grew up, right down the street in Terrasana, and went off to college at UCLA, and next thing you know, 15 years later, I'm relying on alcohol. It sort of sneaks up on you. I had it on both sides of my family tree, and when I got help, one of the first things I recognized was, wow, there's a lot of information I wish I had as a kid, as a youth, and right at that moment, I said, I'm going to make sure my kids know this. And that sort of turned into a family writing project. That would be a good idea to write about it. And now, there's so many people across the country that could use this. Now we're just trying to spread the word.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Lianna, what do you think about this idea of bringing your experiences, putting them together in a book for others?
I think it's a great idea. Why not let other people learn from our experience and benefit other people, other kids that have alcoholism in their genes? It's a great idea that my dad came up with. And
it really is like a guide, you say, to not only understand what's going on, but perhaps how to keep, how to prevent the addiction from happening to the kids, right?
Yeah, and for children with a genetic predisposition to alcohol and other families, the studies show, they're overwhelming. They show if you give a certain amount of information before the kids start drinking or using drugs, and we suggest before the age of 14, like 12 or 13, the chances of them using drugs or alcohol can be cut in half.
And is that what you did with Lianna?
We certainly continue to do that, yeah.
Yeah, continue, because it's a problem. Well,
Absolutely.
you're 15. You're 15 years old.
She's in high school, so she's been involved in this book, and certainly her and my son, we've talked about it for many years. I went into recovery treatment about 8 years ago, so since that time we've been working on the book and obviously talk about it as a family.
Wow, and you're a family of four. We have off stage, we have your son and your lovely wife who are also
They're
here.
They're the artists in the book.
I know, you were telling me. Look at this.
There's a little peanut and potato, and my son and wife drew the art throughout the book, and there's a little story behind the peanut and the potato representing a peanut allergy that kids are familiar with, and the potato represents like an alcohol allergy. And so there's a little battle. How come I don't get any respect, the potato says. So trying to make it relatable to kids.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. At the end of the day, what's your message first to the parents? Marc, let me ask you, what's the bottom line here? I mean, I know there's a lot of tips in this book, but what would be the take home for parents?
I'd say the top, first of all, it's your responsibility. Don't rely on your school. Don't rely on your friends. Don't rely on media. You want to start early. We recommend before the age of 13. You want to exhibit a positive role model. You don't want to have alcohol at every family event, at every social event, because that's what your kid's going to model their behavior after. You want to have an outlet for peer pressure, and Lianna writes a chapter on peer pressure in the book. When there's peer pressure, have somebody they can talk to, whether it's you, an older cousin, an aunt, at least so they have somebody to talk to. You also want to be an involved or nosy parent, as we say. So my wife, who's standing over there, gets very involved with her activities. So
she should.
If she's going to a bonfire in La Jolla, which they often do, my wife makes sure that she's friends with the mom or the dad, or she calls them or has coffee with them. Don't just rely on your 15-year-old to say, "Oh, it'll be fine, Dad. There'll be no alcohol at the
Right.
beach."
Know who your friends. Know who the friends are, right? Know who the friends are.
Exactly.
And Lianna, in terms of peer pressure, I mean, what have you learned so far through this process, you think, that would help others your age?
I think the most important thing that I've learned is that it's okay to know your boundaries, and it's okay to say no to peer pressure with alcohol or drugs, because if people really care about you, they'll understand the situation like alcoholism. And yeah, just it's okay to say no, because kids with alcoholism in their genes aren't alone. There's a whole community of us that we all have to stick together.
And sometimes in school, that's hard to do, because you want to fit in, or you want, you know, you may fear that you're not cool if you don't participate. But there are, you know, people out there who, you know, other peers that feel the same way you do. So if it's not talked about, then you don't know that you guys feel the same way. Well, this is really neat. So this book is available.
It is.
Where can people find this book?
They can get more information about our movement at potatoallergy.com, or they can get the book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, or we're having a book signing in Mira, Mesa at Barnes & Noble tomorrow afternoon from 2 to 4. They can come get the book and say hi.
That is really cool.
As long as they're not a teenage boy coming to talk to my daughter. Anybody's welcome, with or without alcohol in their genes.
There you go. Spoken like a true dad. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Marc and Lianna, for sharing your story with us. I think you guys are going to really impact a lot of families out there, because this is not an easy subject to talk about.
It is.
I mean, I can't even imagine. It could be scary, uncomfortable.
Nobody talks about it in the family. I interviewed hundreds of alcoholics and drug addicts who had it in their genes or not, and their parents never talk about it. It's just nobody knows how. It doesn't happen, and it's I mean, it kills more people than gun violence now.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're doing well. Keep in touch
Thank you,
with
ma'am.
us.
We
All
will.
right.
We're right down the street.
We will put a video recap of this segment on our website, KUSI.com, as well as a link. And then again, the book signing is in Mira, Mesa, and that happens when?
Tomorrow, from 2 to 4 at Barnes & Noble.
From 2 to 4, Mira, Mesa. It's a popular Barnes & Noble.
It's huge.
I go there
There's
all the time.
Starbucks there, I think.
I know. Go get some Starbucks, pick up a book, and get it signed. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're taking a quick break here on this Saturday morning, and we'll be back with much more on Good Morning San Diego.